guys, and welcome back to our channel. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Ken, and today we're here to talk about the new Tom Hanks movie on Apple TV Plus called Finch. So yeah, I feel like I think this is the second movie that Tom Hanks has done for Apple TV, but we didn't watch the first one. I think it was called Greyhound. But it was like a war movie. But yeah, Tom Hanks seems to be working closely with Apple TV Plus. Yeah, we're going to get into it. This is a story of really a man and his robot and his dog. But before we do that, I want to ask that if you aren't yet subscribed to the Married with Media channel, definitely hit that subscribe button for more content. Also, be sure to like this video and comment down below. Did you watch Finch on Apple TV Plus? What did you think of it? Let us know in that comment section below. So what were your thoughts on this movie?
Yeah, so I ended up really enjoying this movie.
Yep.
I wasn't quite sure, like in the beginning, like when it first started, but I feel like I easily got into it once it got going.
Yeah.
And I think overall it ended up being one of those kind of feel-good movies. Not entirely.
Not entirely, no.
But like kind of pulled at the heartstrings. One of those like think about life kind of things.
Set in a post-apocalyptic world, so there's like solar flares that have like taken out all of humanity except for, you know, the ones that I guess were smart enough to not go running outside and get their skin melted.
Right.
So you have Tom Hanks. He's which his character's name is Finch.
Right.
He's kind of like the last man on Earth, but you find out later on that he might not be.
But yeah, there are like bad people. I forget what they called them. But they basically like stole food from people. You know, they just don't care about anybody but themselves, basically.
Yeah, there's a couple flashbacks where you see some other you know, humans and people and stuff, but really like mostly this is just Tom Hanks.
Yep.
Kind of like Castaway. Yeah, he's on his own.
Yep. Definitely gave me Castaway vibes. But yeah, so like you said, post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, it's a story of him and his dog, and he creates this robot to protect his dog after he's not around anymore because he has cancer. That's like the setup to the movie.
So he's got these the main robot, which is Jeff. Yeah, there's like this really funny scene where the robot wants a name, and they decide on Jeff. And so anyway, but before Jeff, he had this like other little robot. I think its name was Dewey.
Maybe. It was kind of like a little droid. What it reminded me of from Star Wars, like a BB-8 type robot or something.
Yeah. So, and then like you mentioned, the dog, which you find out that like he had found this dog. He hasn't like had it prior to the solar flares.
We won't spoil the way he got it or anything.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, you have this dog, you have Tom Hanks, you have the robot, and he created the robot to protect the dog. So throughout the whole movie, he's trying to, I guess, teach the robot how to be a better protector because he's not living up to his standards, I guess.
Yeah,
the robot keeps making mistakes.
Yeah, which, you know, fair enough. He literally just, I don't know, I feel like he got like a day to try to learn everything or whatever, because there's like a scene where Tom Hanks you know, is teaching the robot how to walk. And
that's what I was gonna say. Like, it is kind of lighthearted. Like, you have this fun dynamic between Tom Hanks and the robot, which the robot is really the other performer in the movie, which is played by Caleb Landry Jones, which was an interesting choice. I don't know if you remember who he is, but he was like the brother in Get Out. He's been in some other stuff, but that's what I know him from off the top of my head. It's a good performance. It's definitely, I would say, a more captivating robot performance than you're used to seeing.
Yeah, he was like, he definitely gave a lot of laughs.
Yeah.
And a lot of like you know, more towards the end, there were definitely a lot of like more emotional scenes. And you know, when you're talking about a robot, that's pretty impressive. So.
I feel like they do a good job, and they don't always do this. I haven't seen the movie, but everybody talks about Chappie, like the robot and Chappie being like super annoying, and a lot of people don't like that movie. Some people love it.
Yeah.
But I've heard that this movie, getting compared to that one, just does a much better job of, you know, that the robot portrayal and just his chemistry and relationship with the humans.
When I think of like robots, I think of like WALL-E.
Yeah, and this movie gives off a lot of WALL-E vibes because it is post-apocalyptic. They're in like a desert wasteland.
Yeah.
Another thing is, I think that the setting of this movie is really cool. Like I said, I like that post-apocalyptic setting. It's got good set design. The director of this movie did a lot of Game of Thrones episodes.
That's cool, yeah.
So you can definitely kind of see that skill level in there, just how he kind of shoots the wasteland settings and stuff like that. There's not like a ton of action in this or anything.
It's always like those post-apocalyptic movies or whatever. They're always kind of fun to watch. Just like seeing how people, like what they have to do to survive, because of the solar flare or whatever. The temperature outside is so hot now that, like you said, people can't be out in it. And so like,
it's not so much the temperature, but I think it's like the sun. Like they can't be underneath the sun because he took his mask off like outside the gas station.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, yeah. So
but as soon as the sun hits them, they're like dead.
Yeah. It's like the temperature of the sun.
Yeah.
Basically. But yeah, so he has this like suit that he has to wear. And like you said, when he's trying to teach the robot like what's going on and like why he's been created and all of that kind of stuff, there's a scene where Tom Hanks, holds out his hand in the sun and you see his hand, start to burn. And he's like, we can't be in the sun. And so, it's just, I don't know. I think that stuff's kind of fun and cool to think about, if it were to happen in real life. And so there were also some cool scenes with like a tornado.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about the tornado. Yeah, that's some time. I just said like big scale and
it was a pretty
kind of scope.
It was kind of like a pretty tense scene. One of the like big things that is happening or whatever is that Tom Hanks, his character Finch, he has like a really nice setup, and it's, been working for him, but there is a big, like another one of those big solar flares storms coming.
Yeah.
And so, it like basically,
it's like a huge tornado thing that they have to get away from.
Well, I don't know if I don't think that was, necessarily the solar flare because like, the little radar that he had actually said tornado warning. So I think that it was actually a tornado and not the same thing as a solar flare. But yeah, so he finds out that there is a big solar storm coming and it's going to last for like 40 days. And he knows that he does not have enough food to survive that. And so he has to set out with his new robot and his dog. And so that's kind of this little journey that they take us on. Yeah. And so, like you said, Tom Hanks' character is...
What did you think of Tom Hanks's performance in this? Because I think it's probably the best I've seen from him in a very long time.
Yeah, I think that I thought it was great. He's like you said this. He's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, I was getting mad at Tom in this movie.
But you'll find, kind of rightfully so. He's definitely struggling with some things, and so
he's in shape in this movie too. You pointed that out.
Yeah, they're like, how old is he now anyway?
He's got to be mid-60s.
I mean, dang, Tom Hanks be looking good. Yeah. No offense.
He's in shape. He looks like he did in Big in this movie a little bit as far as like how slender he is. I don't know.
Like, there's like a shower scene and I'm like, okay, like.
Which it just speaks to, how great Tom Hanks is because, he's an older guy and you could tell like you're in this post-apocalyptic environment, like you should be skinnier because obviously you haven't been eating as good.
Right.
So the fact that he would get in shape for this role, at that age, mid-60s, just, speaks to how great Tom Hanks is as an actor and performer.
But yeah, I thought he was great in this. The dog was really cute. Like you said, the robot was good. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, it's not a very elaborate movie as like far as the story. Like the story's pretty straightforward, but it tells it well. It has a good pace. The movie's almost 2 hours, but it really didn't feel like it drug or anything.
No.
It felt like, every scene in it needed to be there.
Yeah. And I feel like it was just one of those movies that kind of tells a nice little,
they did a good job doing the flashbacks and kind of integrating those in there to give you a little bit more information about what was going on.
It was one of those movies that kind of, tells this nice little story, side story, whatever you want to say. And it's just one of those movies that kind of gets you in your feels a little bit and kind of, I don't know, makes you appreciate life in general. And
I feel like that's kind of the message, because at the end, they're standing on the Golden Gate Bridge. And
and just like
don't look at a picture, experience it.
Right. I like that message. And just, relationships and just relationships that you have with people, all different kinds. And so anyway, I thought it was a good little
and
movie.
I like the fact they weren't afraid to bring in a little bit of danger, like a little bit of a threat, but they didn't go like all in with it. Like the guy that was following them.
Yeah.
I thought that was super like threatening and kind of ominous, just him following them. But and it kind of led to a very tense moment, them trying to get the RV under the bridge. But it didn't really go anywhere after that, which I liked.
Like it just goes to show you that there was a different story they wanted to tell, I feel like.
Yep,
than just that like typical, there's a villain, and
the
villain
like that.
was kind of a different thing.
Yeah, because it just felt natural. Like, okay, they lost him. Now he's off doing something else, you know?
Yeah. But, and it was like another way to show, I feel like that maybe that scene was kind of important as far as the relationship that Finch had with Jeff, the robot.
Yes.
And stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was kind of cute too to see how Finch was trying to get the robot and the dog to basically trust one another, because they kind of touch base on, how dogs are, they're devoted to their owner. And so Finch knew that he had to get his dog to want to
get on board.
Right, to want to bond with the robot, because he knew that if something were to happen to him, that the robot would be responsible, and he wanted his dog to be safe. So anyway, I thought it was pretty sweet. So, what would you give this?
I gave it a 4 out of 5 on my Letterboxd, so I'd probably give it an 8.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's not the most exciting, best movie I've ever seen, but it's a really, fun little movie, a nice movie, and definitely one of the better ones I've seen this year for sure, especially on a streaming service.
Yeah.
Apple TV Plus is more known for their TV, not their movies, but I feel like this is probably one of their first like really good movies on that service.
Yeah. I think 8.5 is fair. I might say 8.75, but I'm not sure if I can commit to it. But yeah, I definitely.
If somebody gave us a 9.5, I wouldn't say they were wrong. I mean, it's going to hit everybody differently, I think, or less than that. But I think it's good. It's a good movie. If you don't have Apple TV Plus, what are you doing? They got all kinds of great content.
Oh my gosh, Apple TV is killing it.
Yeah, The Shrink Next Door, we're getting ready to watch, so we're definitely going to try to have reviews out for that. But let us know in that comment section below what you thought of this movie if you watched it. Also, be sure to like this video, guys, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Turn on all those bell notifications for future videos. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.